Beautiful people, welcome back to my YouTube channel. This is the Olele Salvador Network, OSN for short. My name is Olele Salvador. You can call me Olele, you can call me DTS with the DTS. Hey, and I'll holla back at you. Don't forget to check out the channel by subscribing to it. And you can like the videos on here. And of course, don't forget to hit the notification bell just in case you really want to be the first to watch when we upload, and I'll be so glad you did so. Okay, now today on this latest episode of In Case You Missed It, yes, ICYMI, we are talking about the Grammys expansion into Africa and the Middle East. And they made announcements via their Instagram or the social media, but we'll get into all of that. But before we do that, please feel free to leave a comment, but please keep it civil, okay, and respect other commenters who would also leave a comment on this channel. But if you are here and you think you're going to be very abusive and going to be very whatever, then this is not for you. Okay? All right. Because over here, we are just looking to bring thought leadership approaches and angles to trending stories, just to make a difference or to give you a unique value proposition when it comes to consuming our content. So let's get into the conversation. And I'm sure you guys have seen the news. If you haven't seen the news, well, the Grammys made an announcement concerning its expansion into Africa and the Middle East. But let me give you a backstory as to how Ghana is involved in this. Ghana is not entirely involved in it. I'm sure by the time the video is done, you understand what I mean. So in September 2022, the Grammy CEO, Harvey Mason Jr., was in Ghana. All right, he visited Ghana, kind courtesy Lady Denta Amwaten, MBE, for an industry mixer with music and media professionals. I remember when he arrived at the airport, my good brother from HypeNet GH asked him whether the Recording Academy was looking to consider Afrobeats at the time, consider Afrobeats for, a category or somewhat, look at it again and see how best they could represent it at the Recording Academy, because then Afrobeats had or have become a global phenomenon. But fast forward to the media and music professionals mixer, music creators mixer, where some of us had the opportunity to be invited. We had the opportunity to speak to him and ask him a few questions. Some of the questions had to do with, what really does the Grammy consider, or the Recording Academy consider, to nominate an artist for a Grammy award? And there are videos to that effect. You see those videos making the rounds and all that. But for me, I had a specific question. I had a particular interest to ask him and to find out what he made of it. Now, in July 2022, the same year that he came to Ghana, there was an article that was written by the Grammy website, and it was about the history of Afrobeats. And guys, if there was any day Africa came together as one to fight for one cause, that was the day. Because the gruesome error that was captured in that write-up, crazy, absolutely crazy. The pressure that was mounted on the social media pages of the Grammy Academy, also the Recording Academy. In fact, most specifically Twitter at the time. Twitter, look, they had to come back and rewrite it, and they didn't actually take down the previous tweets. They just quoted it and made the correction. In fact, the gruesome error had to do with the fact that the issue of Afrobeats had to do with Africans and Black Americans, which wasn't true, or which isn't true. But anyway, that's just by the way. So I actually asked him, what he made of the backlash and the outburst of, Afrobeats consumers and Africans at large, who obviously saw the error and really, really, really put some fire, or some coals of fire on the Grammy account, respectively, too, on the various social media platforms, respectively, to really vent their spleen and obviously their dissatisfaction of the write-up, especially when it comes to narratives, concerning African products, African inventions, and so on and so forth. Another conversation for another day. And the CEO told me, Harvey Mason told me that, that's one of the reasons why, major reasons why he's come to Ghana, because he's in town, obviously, to learn more about the rising sounds of Africa, i.e., in this particular context, Afrobeats, to have it properly represented by the academy because they don't know about it. They don't know much about it, you know. So his visit is to be able to catch up on not just Afrobeats but other indigenous sounds from Africa, so that when they go back and have their meeting, their members are present some of these cases, they can have or we can have proper representation.
As a result of some people just not knowing, not knowing the history, speaking out of misinformation. But that's why I'm here because they don't know. He should have been writing that. They don't know. But a lot of things we don't know. And that's why we're trying to learn and trying to be better. Because they love the music. I'm sure of that. If they wrote it because they're champions. They probably just had some misinformation. Doing things like this, me being a part of different music communities and having members from this region will help inform.
Fast forward 2023, we saw what happened at the Grammy Awards into 2024, obviously, when we had the first time ever Best African Performance, which of course Tyler picking up that award on behalf of the debut category that was obviously considered or added to the Grammy Awards. And I remember the category definition of that was not just limited to Afrobeat or Afrobeats, but they were, you know, Alive, Fuji, Sukus, and so on and so forth. Basically, indigenous sounds from Africa were considered for this Best African Performance category. Okay, so one would say definitely a promising step in the right direction. I know many of you like to say, you know, we shouldn't look at the white for validation and all that. I'll respond to that. I'll respond to that. Now, 2 days ago, today's what? Today's Thursday. So 2 days ago will be what? Wednesday, Tuesday. So Tuesday, the Recording Academy this year via their social media channels, especially Instagram, where I first saw it, will make a groundbreaking announcement that is as part of expanding its efforts in supporting music creators globally. It has partnered with the ministries of culture and key stakeholders in the Middle East and Africa to really enhance its presence and services in these growing music markets. All right. So basically, the Academy is going to be collaborating with the ministries of culture in Kenya, Kingdom of Saudi Arabia, Nigeria, Abu Dhabi, what do you may call it, Rwanda, South Africa, yeah. But for Ghana and Ivory Coast, is only an MOU, a memorandum of understanding. So let's go to the Instagram page where I first saw this and let's read what the caption says. I will just run through because of time. I'll just run through. So please bear with me. So he says, we are thrilled to announce that we are embarking on a path to extend our efforts to support music creators on a global scale. The Recording Academy has agreements with ministers of cultures and key stakeholders across the Middle East and Africa to collaborate on a framework to bolster the Academy's presence and services in these rapidly growing music regions. Now, if the PC, TV, phone is yours, you can underline, collaborate on a framework to bolster the Academy's presence and services. So Academy's presence and services in these rapidly growing music regions. So first point, you need to capture this, you understand this, right? Now, the Academy, like I said earlier, is going to be working with the Ministry of Culture in Kenya, the Kingdom of Saudi Arabia, Nigeria, the Department of Culture and Tourism in Abu Dhabi for United Arab Emirates, the Rwanda Development Board, and the Ministry of Sports, Arts and Culture in South Africa. Full stop. Additionally, MOUs have been signed with Ghana and the Ivory Coast. This exploration into the Middle East and Africa is only the first phase of plans to support music creators abroad, and it comes the same year the Academy celebrates the 25th anniversary of the Latin Grammy. So those of you who don't know, the Latin music industry actually have their own Grammys, all right, and it's been going on for the last 25 years. All right, and they talked about where it was hosted in Seville, which we also know as Sevilla. And this is the first time the Grammy Award shows, the first Grammy Award show to be held overseas. So basically, they moved away from a more or from a Latino driven environment to more of like a Spanish environment, which is obviously Sevilla. And Last year, according to their post here, last year the Recording Academy also partnered with the U.S. State Department on an initiative to promote peace through music. So they were just, but there were a few things that they had listed that obviously should, draw your attention to, and that is why and what the partnership and the collaboration is going to bring to the aforementioned countries. Now, I want you to understand that according to the post, clearly, Ghana and Ivory Coast are still in the queue to participate fully in the benefits of this partnership as compared to the aforementioned countries. Okay. Now, many people are saying, okay, you know what? Let me just finish. Let me just finish what it says here. So one of the things, or some of the things they're looking to do as part of key initiatives which will align with their mission with these collaborations would include championing music creators at all levels and providing them with a platform and advocacy, advocating for strong intellectual property legislation and protections for music creators, which I think is amazing, enhancing support for existing members. Cross-cultural learnings will benefit all music creators, and a presence in these rapidly growing music regions will provide numerous benefits to the record academies current and future members. So imagine you are an African member living in a continent or living in any part of an Africa, especially in these countries, and you are obviously part of the recording academy. You stand a chance of contributing your knowledge, your quota of your music industry to the academy, so that they are best positioned or they are best poised to understand the music landscape from your region. Okay, and if there are any support whatsoever or any form of policy implementation, they are looking forward to roll out, some of these contributions and some of these additions will make it easy. Okay. And one of the favorite things that I like in this announcement is as part, or it says, as a cornerstone of this initiative, the Academy will publish a series of reports highlighting the Academy's research and insights into these music markets. Fantastic. Okay, because sometimes you really need to know how well your industry is faring. And the Grammys or the Record Academy is looking to do that for us as part of these collaborations. Once again, Ghana and Cote d'Ivoire have only signed an MOU. So I'm going to get to that. But before I do that, let me just say that this announcement by the Recording Academy does not specifically state that Africa would have its own version of the Grammy Awards similar to the Latin Grammys. I repeat, this does not specifically state that Africa will have its own version of the Grammy Awards similar to the Latin Grammys. Grammys Africa sounds sweet, sounds nice, but we are not there just yet. Okay? We are not there just yet. However, the post clearly outlines several important initiatives and collaborations aimed at supporting and promoting African music creators, producers, artists. I don't know about dancers, but artists, producers, just name it. Okay? So please, this does not mean that we are going to have Grammys Africa. We may be, or Africa can be a continent that would host the Grammys, like the way the Headies moved from Nigeria to have its last two awards or last two Headies in the US. It could happen like that in any of these countries, but we get to that. So please, just to be clear, there is no mention of African Grammys here just yet. The announcement is just focusing on partnerships and initiatives to support music creators in Africa and the Middle East, but it does not explicitly mention the establishment of an African version of the Grammy Awards. So the things that you need to focus on are the collaboration with the cultural ministries, where the agreements with the various African countries are aiming to enhance the agreement obviously is aiming to enhance the presence and services of Record Academy in these regions, where the entire in an interview say this would also mean having like a, what you call it, an office or offices spread across the support for music creators that obviously include providing platforms and advocacy for music, for their music, and advocating for stronger intellectual property protections, which is something I know African creatives and creators have been struggling with. I also talk about the fact that the enhancing member support. So if you are a Recording Academy member, this one is going to definitely provide some benefits to you and future members through cross-cultural learnings and increased presence in these growing music regions. All right. And of course, the research reports where I also talked about the fact that it's very crucial, it's very important that you get to know what's happening in the music market in the regions, and obviously highlighting the insights. Okay. Now, if you look at how the Latin Grammy Awards came into being in the push, remember that it says that they had to do this on the 25th anniversary of the Latin. It's come a long way. Okay, it's come a long way. But the Grammy Awards, the Latin Grammy Awards, were established as a separate entity to specifically celebrate and honor Latin music. Okay, now this thing, it required some significant infrastructure and long-term commitment. Okay, so this current announcement, it's basically in its initial phase for Africa. Okay, which is obviously going to take off by focusing on the collaboration and support rather than just creating a separate award show. All right, so just in case you are wondering, it's not going to be automatic. It's going to take a while. It's going to take a while because they're now going to gather reports, research, insight, all of that before they can even arrive at creating a separate Grammy award show for Africa. Okay. But let's look at the benefits and the future possibilities that this announcement is going to give us. All right. We are looking at the fact that African music is going to get increased recognition and support, in terms of visibility for African music on the global stage. There's going to be enhanced support for enhanced support and advocacy for African music creators, and it will definitely lay groundwork for future development and potentially include, you know, some level of a dedicated awards program if the initiative proves successful and sustainable. This also means that we are building the right foundations, with the whole IP protection and the member support and all that. The academy is definitely building a strong foundation that could support, more significant projects in the future. And if the African music market continues to grow and gain international prominence as it were with Afrobeat, then maybe, just maybe, the Recording Academy may consider additional steps, potentially including a separate award show. All right. So while the current announcement does not indicate that Africa will have its own version of the Grammy Awards, like the Latin Grammys, it definitely represents a significant step towards greater support and recognition for African music creators. And the long-term impact of these initiatives could pave the way for more substantial developments in the future. Okay. Now, Lady Delta, who has actually been spearheading this conversation for a minute now on behalf of Ghana and, of course, working with the Grammy CEO to bring us this far, had an interview with Hits FM and the Dusty, and she revealed some things. It disturbed me small. It disturbed me small.
Are we gonna have a Grammy office in Ghana, or am I am I taking the wind out of your sail?
So, as I mentioned, the countries that have signed up, and the countries that have signed up is Rwanda, South Africa, and Nigeria.
Which means Ghana is not. Okay, I didn't hear you mention Ghana.
I didn't mention Ghana. It's a little bit unfortunate, but the agreement that was supposed to be signed did not happen, and so at the moment, those are the 4 countries that will be able to host a Grammy. But it doesn't stop any artist from being nominated, but it's just for the hosting and other benefits that the country will have. At the moment, Ghana is not amongst.
Why was Ghana not included in this? Because we stand very tall.
There was conversations. Oh, of course, I would have pushed for my country, but unfortunately, the agreement wasn't signed, and so Ghana is not part of. They're not going to be part of hosting or any Grammy centers or anything like that at the moment. if that changes in the next few weeks, maybe after this announcement, maybe it'll encourage, people to do something. But at the moment, as it stands,
I know forgive me, I may be pushing too much, especially with this, premise. And I know you are also a bit under the weather. Forgive me, but I may be pushing for too much. Could it be a matter of infrastructure? Could it be on the side of government, or inadequate resources? What could be the reason that may be or could be the fall short of, or the shortcoming of Ghana?
I think it's more resources. There's a few things that the country will need to be part of this, which I can't say on the radio.
Right.
Yeah, so, looking at everything that's happening right now in Ghana, it wasn't feasible.
Here we go again, Ghana. Here we go again. One of the things she said was Ghana may not be considered just yes to host the Grammys due to lack of infrastructure and resources. Guys, how old is Ghana again? Ghana is about what, 67 67 years old. Like I said, the agreement and the conversation we have with the recorded economy is just an MOU. An MOU that is just to say that when you are able to prove that you have the resources and infrastructure to do some of the things you're looking to do in Nigeria, in Kenya, in Rwanda, in South Africa, and even the Middle East, then we can look at bringing some of these, exciting things to you. Once again, we find ourselves on the losing end of what could be transformative opportunities for our music industry and, of course, the cultural representation on the global stage. I'm not too sure how long this is going to continue, but this isn't just disappointing, it's embarrassing. Now, if you listen to the interview that Denta had with Andy, she was just trying to be nice. She was just trying to be nice. Because why should we be missing out on things like this? Do we not shout and make all sorts of claims that we are the heartbeat of Afrobeats and the soul of high life, and yet when it comes to providing the venues and the centers, the very arenas where the world should come and see, world come and see our culture alive and pulsating, what do we have? Subpar facilities that barely hold up to local standards, let alone international ones. How many arenas can you talk about in Ghana? Take away the Grand Arena, which are just in the conference center. And what do you have? Nothing. Nothing. Even with the Grand Arena, it's not the standard for the kind of events we host there. We are just magicians with it. So I don't see any problem here. We are not ready. We have never been ready. And our leadership, they have been sleeping when it comes to these things. Because I wonder who are we going to blame this on? Me? No, definitely not me. Someone will say, oh, it's easy to point fingers at leadership. Why not? Our leaders have consistently failed to prioritize our cultural infrastructure as though it's not a key asset worth investing in. See what you guys do during, culture seasons like December in Ghana. We see how you guys gloat over all of these parties and excitement, and you add it to your achievements and you add it to your accolades and whatnot. I'm not even gotten to the part of our maintenance culture. It's non-existent. We have painted a facade of progress to the outside world, but beneath that thin veneer lies the truth of neglected venues and wasted opportunity, wasted potential. Think about it. Think about what hosting the Grammys could have been for us. Let's not forget, we had Afrimas. We had a 5-year contract with Afrimas. They only did it once. What happened? What happened to the rest of the years? We had to forfeit it. Same situation due to this same poor leadership, poor maintenance. If you were the first Afrimas, you would have wept. We did it at the conference center, Accra Conference Center. The ACs were not working. The place was hot. And we were packed in there like sardines. And you want to host the Grammys? We shouldn't be sad. No, we shouldn't be sad. We saw what Global Citizen did for us and how it boosted, our tourism. The Grammys would have done the same. Think about what it would have done for the local artists. Once again, we have been a way to put Ghana on the map in a way that mere talk and half-hearted initiatives never will. But no. Due to our inability to keep up with basic standards, we miss out on these things. And we watch these opportunities pass us by while other countries grab them with both hands. You think you're doing me? It is time for a wake-up call. To everyone from government officials to industry, we have to wake up. It's about time we woke up from our slumber. Things are not going to be given to us so cheaply and easily because we've been able to win the PR. We need more than just MOUs and handshakes. So I'm telling you, we need action. We need development. Investments that go beyond lining pockets. And let's start lining our streets with viable world-class entertainment facilities. We can't change the past, obviously. But where we are headed to, this is the type of future we are missing out on. And that is clearly in our hands. Amphitheaters for 8 years haven't been built. Up to now, we haven't seen a single completed amphitheater that we can say, oh, at least you tried. Every day, work is still going on. Every day is in the pipeline. I have moved the conversation from just it being about the Grammys because there are other global opportunities that we are missing out on. And sometimes it is we, the commentators, the journalists, the pop culture journalists, we the followers of pop culture and entertainment, we suffer at the hands of some of our African brothers and sisters because what is there to show? We say we are the best at what we do. What is there to show? We are just still dwelling on past. What is there to show? Our music industry is in tatters. Royalty system. We've got the talent. We've got the passion. We've got the music. And all you guys have to do is to play your part. The artists are working overtime. Industry leaders are learning, overlearning. What do you have to show? It's time to step up. Thank you guys so much for watching me. The name is Olele Salvador. Don't forget to share this video, like it, subscribe to our channel, and be on the lookout for our next episode or our next upload. We're back again with another exciting edition of In Case You Missed It. Please try not to miss the next one. Goodbye.